I did my presentation on privacy in the workplace. It's a hot topic, and that's why I did it. And basically, employers are allowed to monitor their employees, and employees believe it is a violation of their privacy, believe it's against their constitutional rights. So I'm going to go off first and start with the employer side of the argument. There's different types of monitoring. There's probably the most basic one is now computer monitoring. It is probably the most common because of the technology. Businesses use computers all the time now, and so it's almost like a requirement. And they are allowed to integrate software into the business computers, and they're allowed to watch watch what you're doing. They're able to get on your screens and look and see what you are doing. They're allowed to go through your internet history and stuff, see what you've been going through. They're allowed to go through your electronic email. It's kind of evasive. There's telephone monitoring, where they can record your phone calls, they can listen to what you're doing. And then there's also video surveillance, and that one is we've been using that one for a while. There's video cameras everywhere, and that's just to ensure there's no physically illegal activity going around, making sure there's no theft, no nothing like that. So it's just a way to protect the company. Okay, so why is there employee monitoring? Employers want to make sure employees do their job. You're getting paid to do a job, and so that doesn't mean you have the right to go on the internet and play games and you check out your Facebook status and all that kind of stuff. They're paying you to do these things, and that doesn't mean get on the internet and stuff. And other things you shouldn't be doing. They want to avoid inappropriate internet surfing. No porn, none of that stuff. I had a teacher my freshman year in high school. He was a gym coach and stuff, and he ended up getting fired over. They ended up catching him watching porn and stuff, and so that was one of the big deals. Companies use monitoring to counter theft, violence, and sabotage. That's obvious. We went through that already. So that's one of the obvious ones. Does it work? Yes. Polls justify means of monitoring. 28% of employees have gotten fired by their employers for inappropriate internet surfing. It's become a really big deal now. Software used to block inappropriate internet use has increased and has helped fire employees. So yeah, there you go. So it's become a big deal. I also found a case here. It's Hernandez versus Hillsides. Director Hillsides. He owned a company. It's a non-profit company that operates. It's a facility for children neglected and abused sexually. It's there to help. And I guess the office computers were used to access child porn, and the director placed a hidden camera to monitor. He had the suspicion that maybe an employee that worked with children was accessing child pornography, and he was worried about this. So that's why he placed the hidden camera to monitor, and ended up catching 2 people. And turns out the plaintiff, Hernandez, she ended up suing Hillsides for the hidden camera, for basically it was invasion of privacy and stuff. And it ended up getting to the point, the fight got nasty, ended up getting to the point where it ended up making it to the California Supreme Court. And the employer ended up winning. Hillsides ended up winning that case because Hernandez did not have enough to put on Hillsides. So and that was a big deal. So now we're going to go on to the other side, on the employee side of things. What are the issues? The employers are devious. You can't really trust them. You never know. They could be throwing hidden cameras out just to watch you, just for no reason. They can't really be trusted. They're sick-minded. Some of them can be. There's a lot of expenses involved in monitoring people. It costs a lot of money. You have to update technology and stuff. Training, you also have to hire different set of employees that you have to train them to monitor. It's a different I guess sector of employees that handle that. So those are some of the issues. The big question is it ethical? In terms of privacy, yeah, it is invasive a little bit. Again, the trust issue. And then you also have the feeling of lower productivity. If employees feel that if they feel that their employees are watching them, they're more likely to do less work. They're not as productive because of that feeling of being watched. Here was another case. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Brahmana versus Limbo. Brahmana being the employee, the plaintiff. He ended up getting laid off by his boss, and he claimed that his boss owed him back wages. The boss, Limbo, ended up telling him that he ended up keylogging some of Brahmana's emails that he was sending to his attorney and stuff, and I can never pronounce his name. Brahmana ended up suing the company for keylogging. Limbo ended up admitting to that, and keylogging is illegal. It's very evasive. You're not supposed to do that. It's like throwing a virus onto a computer, so it's illegal. So and he ended up getting sued for that. And as far as we don't know if who's won the case yet. I'm not too completely sure. Most likely, the plaintiff did. And then the conclusion: monitoring is a violation of our constitutional rights. Yes, it is a violation of our constitutional rights. There is no doubt about that. It's an invasion of privacy. But, however, company policies and unethical behavior of employees justify the use for it. If I was the owner of a company, I would do anything at all costs to try to protect myself as well as the money, the profits that I make. I don't want to have to throw out money to things like that. I want to make sure that everything's safe. I also want to make sure that my employees are doing their jobs like they're supposed to. They need to. They're hired in to do a job, and that does not mean that they are going to take advantage over their privileges, like their internet and stuff, to go look and play games and Facebook if when they want to. They're hired in to do a job, and they need to be staying on task instead of doing those things. Especially, we have to watch, the illegal activity as well. So those are some of the reasons why monitoring, is in use. And if me personally, as a libertarian, I don't like the fact that it's invasive. But on the other hand, I do understand that there is a need for it. I would want that because, as a business owner, you need to protect yourself. So that's my conclusion. That's my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it.